Thank you for watching the Eyes of the World Meaning, a series of introductions to the all-natural meanings discussed in Meaning in the Multiverse, a skeptic's guide to a loving cosmos. Let me explain how I came to these meanings and the different sorts of meanings that we're going to be talking about in these videos. First, these are metaphysical speculations, and I don't mean metaphysical in the way of New Age metaphysics, but these are actually metaphysics beyond where the science is at now. So you can imagine that these speculations come from an idea of where the science might be in 100 years or 500 years. And again, these are just speculations. They are not in any way trying to take the place of the rigorous pursuit of the scientific method in these different domains, whether it be neuroscience or theoretical physics. But what we want to do is to utilize metaphysics to try and help us to define what is out there for us to investigate and to perhaps make our lives better, to make our examined life living more profound, and to be able to find meaning where we hadn't looked before. All of the metaphysical speculations on meaning that I go through in these videos and in the book Meaning in the Multiverse are all natural. And of course, what I mean by that is none of them are supernaturally formed in any way. And so we're not going to be talking about gods or something outside of the natural order of things. Now, there will be speculations that are outside of the normal framework of modern physics. Those might include thinking about the universe as a computer, but we will be going there with the idea in mind that none of these things are outside of the realm that the laws of physics, either today's laws of physics or the future laws of physics, will be able to define. We're going to be talking about both universal meanings, meanings that come from the multiverse and that are in fact part of the fabric of the cosmos, something that is out there independent of the order of the mind that is able to come to terms with such a meaning. There's also many meanings inside of Meaning in the Multiverse that are prevalent personal, that are meanings that we're looking at that transcend all minds in the universe, but aren't actually coming from the universe, that are out there to be engaged upon as personal meaning, but they're prevalent across all of the minds in the universe, or a great degree of the number of minds across many universes, so a parallel prevalent personal meaning. Those approach universal meaning as the limit of the minds that they are help to transcend, become close to all of the minds, but they're still not universal in the fact that they're not coming from the universe. They're an impact of the number of minds that are being impacted either in this universe or in parallel universes. And finally, we want to talk about whether the meaning comes from the multiverse. So in traditional religious ways of talking about it, these would be meanings that are graced to us from the multiverse, or if they're actually meanings for the universe, for the multiverse or the universe that we are working on for the universe. We're going to talk about the Eyes of the World meaning now, and the Eyes of the World meaning comes from materialism, from a metaphysical concept where the universe is fundamentally stuff. This has a great degree of scientific backing. Materialism is, if you think about, knocking on something and that being, the thing that is fundamentally what makes up the universe, the matter and energy, all the way down to the teeny tiniest of things, the superstrings. In superstring theory, in string theory, we can understand the universe through something that is fundamentally matter and energy all the way down. And this has obviously the most backing in physics through the standard model of quantum physics, as well as the general theory of relativity. And it also has a great deal of scientific backing in neuroscience. So the idea that your mind and cognitive thought, as well as consciousness, comes down to some neurochemical neurophysiology of the brain that interacts in such a way with your perception, with your thoughts, and what you see in your mind's eye to create your conscious realm. And so when we talk about the eyes of the world meaning, which we're getting to on the next slide, we will be talking from the idea that this is a meaning that is most likely, although not only likely, in a materialistic universe, in a place where fundamentally reality is stuff, and the material all the way down to the superstrings that make up the nature of the universe. This is the illustration that best encapsulates the eyes of the world meaning. And so from the text, the eyes of the world meaning is defined as entities with experience offer existence a unique story of itself. Humans are one sort of entity that through our appreciation, awe, and contemplation of the world give it meaning and are, therefore, ourselves very meaningful for the universe. So again, you can see there that we're going to talk about meaning for the universe, or a works meaning that humanity is exemplifying for the universe. So I'm going to just go into the text a little bit more, and this meaning in the multiverse on shelves on 12 February 2021, and talk a little bit more about the eyes of the world meaning from the text. So this eyes of the world comes from the famous song by the Grateful Dead, Eyes of the World, by the same name. And the lyric in there that really got me thinking this way was, come on and find out that you are the eyes of the world. And in a universe that is strictly material, where, as you can see, the universe itself has no conscious conception of itself, then your ponderings and your conscious experience, your awareness of the universe itself, is the only way that the universe can know itself. It's the only way that it can experience things consciously. So any conscious creatures, whether it requires the complexity of consciousness of humans and human-like species across the universe, or if it can go all the way down to lower forms of mammals and other conscious creatures, they are the only way that the universe gets to know itself in a purely materialistic world. And so from the text, page 78, materialists are not above speculation that the universe cares what humans experience. Indeed, the idea that, to quote the Grateful Dead, you are the eyes of the world, is not an uncommon way that skeptics add greater significance to our meager existence. The idea is that, for all its grandeur and precision, the only way for the universe to experience and take stock of itself is through the rare and chance creation of sentience in far-flung regions of itself. Our consciousness and the stewardship of it through some number of epochs of the universe is the most important thing in the entire universe. It is the meaning for the multiverse. This form of poetic naturalism is an important part of the story of meaning and personal profundity. The importance of opening some space to just experience goes beyond the benefits of mindfulness and into the universe, living vicariously through us. Our personal experience of existence, compiled in any way that it is compiled, amounts to the greatest story ever told. Nothing else has the capability to build the poetic out of the natural. As far as we know, as strict materialists, it is all naturalism. The eyes of the world meaning helps us to understand our role in the multiverse as the only experiencer of existence, the only way that the universe can know itself, that the only thing that it is like to be aware of the universe. And so this has profound effects on our place in the multiverse. If this is true, if we live in a strictly materialistic universe, and as is pointed out on the right in this slide, we have some introspection. It is like something to be conscious of your moment to moment present, then that is profound in a universe that otherwise is just made up of material and really has no other conception of itself, has no ability to seek out and understand and realize and appreciate the profundity of the universe and all of the mystery that science and the science of the mind and love and interactions with others and appreciation of the natural world can bring to the fore. It is just up to us and other conscious creatures in the universe to do that appreciation, to be the eyes of the world. The eyes of the world meaning, amongst 8 others, is part of the book Meaning in the Multiverse, which is launching on the 12th of February 2021. These are the prices and the genres that it goes into. I thank you for watching this meeting, and stay tuned to other meetings that cross the metaphysics of idealism, parallelism, and the computational universe. Thank you.